Aaron's house, where kids who've experienced the death of a loved one can share together.
Fort Wayne, if you're thinking vacation, think Conference and Travel Services. Conference and Travel Services is Northern Indiana's complete vacation planning center. We do it all: cruises, vacation packages, and travel accommodations to fit your budget and your schedule. Remember, Fort Wayne, if you're thinking vacation, think Conference and Travel Services, with locations in Fort Wayne, plus Warsaw, Marion, and South Bend.
When you picture a typical drug user, you probably don't picture this.
I've never been to a function where the suit and tie crowd is engaging in a party where cocaine is not being used.
If this surprises you, you're not alone. I'm Marianne Bird. In a special series, Rich and Hooked, you'll meet a highly paid businessman addicted to crack and a counselor who says this is not uncommon. Why are white-collar workers getting wasted? Meet the Rich and Hooked tonight at 6 and 11, only on 21 Alive.
Celebrity lookalikes disgraced by scandal on the next Maury.
Ralph's ex-girlfriend sent him a pipe bomb which exploded in his van. Ralph lost his ears and he was severely burned over half of his body. Carol's ex-husband mailed hundreds of photos of her having oral sex with him to everyone they knew. Tina got revenge on her cheating boyfriend during a hot night of passion. And Cheryl's two-timing husband said he wanted everything she had to settle their divorce. So she met him at the bank, and he got what he deserved. Now, there isn't one of us who hasn't, at one time or another, thought about getting some revenge on somebody. And you've heard the expressions. They say, don't get mad, get even. And then they say sweet revenge, like it tastes good. And then they say hell hath no fury, like a woman scorned. Well, for some of my guests today, the revenge did bring smiles to their faces. And for some of the recipients, it was a very painful thing to have happen, and the scars may never go away. This is Cheryl. When Cheryl's ex-husband wanted half of everything she had for their divorce settlement, she planned what she thought was the perfect revenge. She said, meet me at our bank, and I will give you everything you deserve. Aha! Joining us is Tina. Tina's story of revenge won the National Examiner's Revenge Contest. After finding her boyfriend in bed with another woman, she took revenge by doing something to her boyfriend's private parts. I don't even want to try to explain it. Now, we'll get back to you in a moment, but first, Cheryl, tell us what happened. You were in a relatively small town, I had the feeling?
Very small, under 5,000.
This man was kind of sexy and attractive.
And no good.
Well, but you didn't know he was no good.
Well, people warned me, and I just plunged ahead and, you know, just did what I wanted to do.
They said he had just gotten out of prison.
Well, he had some jail time behind him. It wasn't prison, but like county jail time.
But he was kind of sexy and dangerous, the way some women like men to be.
Very much.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was very nice to me, and I kind of based everything really on that. And he looked like he was hardworking because he was always out helping friends. Well, I didn't know this was a no-pay thing. And I owned a local business, so, you know, he kind of latched onto that. And we were married less than 6 months. And during that 6 months, he brought home a beautiful classic car over 20 years old and told me, this is yours, I've bought it for you, just sign your car over to me and we'll get rid of the little car and you'll love this one. And I looked at it and it was still the old, real long type of car. I thought, it looks like a gas hog, you know. And I just said, no, I really like my little car, I'm fine with it. So I called the car lot after he left and I said, geez, how much did he pay for that? Because I was thinking he took this out of the business, had written a check on the business. They said, oh, he didn't buy that car. He's just fixing a few things for us. So he was going to, you know, cash in my car. And then, you know, the other one would go back to the car lot.
So you would have no car.
Right.
Well, that must have been a hint things were going badly.
Yeah, things weren't good for a long time. He killed my cat. He was into the, there were these bottles. I don't know if they're still out and around, but it was a little inhalant that I'd found several times in his pocket. And he'd inhale it. And he because I got this from people that had seen him do it. He put my cat's nose over it, so when the cat gasped for air, it inhaled this, and he had done this several times, and it killed the cat. He just did all kinds of stuff, ruined my business, ripped me off blind. And then he comes to me, and this is like less than 6 months later, you know, after we married, and said, I want a divorce, I want everything, I want the money and the new pickup. And I thought, geez, you know, I can't believe he's doing this to me, you know. It was hard enough, the divorce part, and I was clinging to this really rotten relationship.
Yeah, you wanted to make it work. I understand what you're saying.
There was
you wanted to make it work no matter what.
Yeah, nothing going for it whatsoever. So I went home and I had said, I'll meet you tomorrow at the bank at 2. Well, I went home and I'm just crying my eyes out, and I had told him, you know, meet me at the bank at 2. You'll get everything you got coming. I've had it. I can't fight anymore. I'm upset. My intentions at that point were to give him everything. Just get out of it.
Just to get
let it loose. Then the more I thought about it. Was he running around on you at all? Oh, yes. He was running around like crazy, and all I heard was she was a blonde. That's all I knew. And all the time I'm confessing to my best friend that he's running around. I don't know who. How can I make him love me? Just, you know, all this stuff trying to hang on. So he meets me the next day at the bank. By that time, I had gone through, give him everything, to no, wait a minute, give him half. And then, now, wait a minute. I told him he'd get what he had coming. What is that? This is a guy that came into the relationship with 3 pairs of pants and 2 shirts, and I'm supposed to just hand him over everything? So the more I thought about it, you know, I had time to really think, you know, what was it he deserved? So I met him the next day at the bank, and he showed up in a brand new suit, stinking of cheap cologne. You know, he was really something.
It's a lovely picture,
person.
Right?
And I showed up with a great big envelope and the pickup truck. And I said, look, I can't talk anymore. I've arranged it with the bank president. You hand him this envelope. It's got everything in it to get what you got coming. And he grabbed it out of my hands, and he says, well, you know, if I'd have known it was this easy, I'd have done this a long time ago. And I'm thinking, what's a long time ago if you've been married less than 6 months? You know, so I just was very upset. And he's practically running into the bank because it's the happiest day of his life. It's the worst day of mine. And as I turned to walk away, there sits my best friend's car. And she's waiting on him, and she's smirking at me, smiling. And
the girl you were telling your troubles to was the girl he was for? She had blonde hair?
Yep, she did. And I would have never guessed it, you know, never. She had got me going to her church, and, you know, I mean, it was really something. So as I went to church more, she went a little less, because those were the nights she was spending with him.
While you're in church, she got you to go to God to pray.
Right.
While you're there praying, she's back with the husband.
That's right.
Divine. Oh, my goodness.
So he took this envelope, and he ran in there. And then I saw her out at the curb, and I thought, oh, brother, I'm so glad I just did what I did. And she's expecting him to get the pickup. But I walk across the street to the pickup, and I sat in it and make no attempt to turn it on. And she's kind of like, you know, wondering, I'm sure, why isn't she starting it up? And why is she in it if he's getting it? So as far as she was concerned at that point, she thought he was still getting everything. He was leaving me with the business, which he had run into the ground. So there was nothing left, not even capital to, you know, re-energize the business. So I had handed him the envelope, and he was in there, and I got this from some friends that he kind of just, Mr. Smartass, went in there and kind of tossed it across to the bank president and said, I'm so-and-so, and I think we got something to talk about here. Well, the bank president opens up this huge envelope, and it says, put $20,000 in the envelope, nobody gets hurt.
So what did the bank president do?
Well, there was sirens and, of course, people coming out of the bank and stuff. And he was held for about 3 days. And now he starts calling me collect, trying to sweet talk me, and, oh, we can make it. This is just a bad thing that happened, you know. So I'm weakening. I'm just weakening again. So I went to the sheriff and did what I had to do. And
you told him it was your prank.
Well, I told him, I said, look, haven't you ever played any kinky sex games before? Just looked him straight in the eye, and his eyes are like this, you know. And I said, you know, I had written that note. I'll admit it was my handwriting. But, like, haven't you ever done, like, damsel in distress and bank robber or doctor and nurse? I had no idea he was going to save this note. Well, it's the kind of county that's so poor they couldn't have afforded a trial. It's the kind of place that if you commit a huge crime in March, they're already out of money to go get you 100 miles away. So they couldn't afford a trial. They couldn't afford anything. So, and then I had done something else with a sheriff that they went ahead and he went to the DA. The DA said God knows what to the judge, and they just, you know, said, okay.
Let the case go.
Yeah.
Are you still in love with this man?
No, no, not at all.
Is he out of your life?
Yes.
Do you see him?
Thank you.
Do you see him anywhere? Is he still in that town?
I don't. Yeah, he's still in that town, but I don't set foot in that state.
Oh, you don't go there anymore?
No.
Do you ever, so you don't see the best friend used to be?
No.
Let her find out, right?
No, yeah.
Tina, why don't you tell us what happened to you?
Well, okay.
Did it involve love, too?
Yeah. My boy, I was seeing this guy, and everything was going okay. We were sitting there, and the next thing I know, a fight broke out. He hit me. I picked up my baby girl, and we left for a while.
Good for you.
I came back home. Well, the way our house is designed, you can't tell if somebody comes in through the front door when you're downstairs in the basement. And I came home, and I just happened to look downstairs to see where he was at, and he's downstairs in a bed with another woman in my bed.
Right after this argument you've had?
I had probably been gone about a half hour, 45 minutes.
How does he get a woman in bed into your house?
It was his ex-girlfriend.
But my goodness, that works very fast, just to think.
Oh, he's quick.
I mean, she's just sitting there waiting to be called, for goodness sake?
I don't know what she was doing.
All right, she's in bed with him, all right.
Okay, so we left. Me and my daughter left again. He never even knew we were there. We went to the store. I had to pick up some stuff, and she was teething at the time, and I picked up a couple of tubes of Oragel.
For the teething.
And I came
it's
home.
It's a number for children's gums.
Yeah, to numb her teeth. I came home. He thought that we had straightened everything. Of course, I'm still pretty angry. He doesn't know that I know what he did. And we went to bed. He thought we were going to have sex. I went down. He thought he was going to get something else, and instead I took the tube of Oragel out of my bra and stuck it down in the hole in the head of his penis and squeezed the whole tube down of his penis.
You don't mean on the, you don't mean on it, you mean in it. In it, not on it. What
Totally
happened?
numbed him.
Yes.
He got up and went to go to the bathroom, could not figure out why he was numb. He thought that his family jewels were ruined forever, that they was permanently numbed. He's screaming and hollering, asked me what I did. I told him. He asked me why, and I said, because you got busted. You were in bed with her in my bed. That's it. He really didn't have too much of a response. He was numb for about 6 hours. We didn't speak for about 4 days.
Are you still with him?
No.
Okay. This woman's husband wanted revenge after she filed for divorce. So he distributed very intimate and erotic photos that they had shared during their marriage to everyone in town. Stay with us.
Here we are at the Temple of Body Worship.
And look what we've discovered.
Shocking discovery. Tropicana Twister Light has fewer calories, yet tastes wildly provocative.
How could they?
Apparently, they desire firm little bodies.
While indulging their insatiable lusts for pleasure.
Tropicana Twister Light, the first bottled juice drink with NutraSweet. More taste excitement than Mother Nature intended.
I think we've seen quite enough of this little peep show.
as a Secret Service agent.
A special agent, are we?
He will take a bullet for her.
Be a dear and get me a baby Ruth.
Lay down his life for her.
I need a price check and LeSueur baby peas. Repeat, LeSueur baby peas.
They're on special today.
But every man has his limits.
You be kind enough to get my ball.
What do we look like, waiters? Are we a bunch of waiters?
Shirley MacLaine, Nicolas Cage.
Why me?
Because I like you, Douglas.
Guarding Tess. Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, March 11th.
Chicken so good, it's gotta be Lee's. It's gotta be Lee's. It's got to be that famous recipe. It's chicken so tasty. Tasty. Chicken so hot. Chicken so fresh. Come see what we've got. It's gonna hit the spot. Come on and give it a shot. It's chicken so good, it's gotta be Lee's. Gotta be Lee's. Oh, it's gotta be Lee's.
The top 10 reasons Lisa Coventry Court townhomes. They're newly remodeled. Number 9, sensational 2 or 3 bedroom townhomes. Sensational. Plush new carpet. Full-size washers and dryers. Great kitchens. Tons of closet space. Great location next to Foster Park. Mini blinds, mini blinds, mini blinds. Small pets welcome. And the number 1 reason to lease the Coventry Court townhomes, 2 months free rent. Thank you and good night.
The scores are in. The Indiana News Photographers Association picked 21 Alive News the top Division II station of the year. Our staff of photographers were judged the best overall team, with individual honors going to Jeff Bowman, winning 3 first-place awards, as well as the coveted Photographer of the Year award. Brian Gillett took 2 first-place awards, including top honors for the best documentary news special, and Glenn Welling took top honors for the best sports feature. Our congratulations to Jeff and the entire 21 Alive News team of photographers, judged the best team in the state for 1993.
We've been talking to women who got revenge on the men in their lives, whether they're pleased that they did so or, in your case, kind of dubious that they did so. With us now is Carol. Carol says she can really relate. Her ex-husband took revenge on her by turning a wedding night photograph into an advertisement for sex. Now, how did that work? What happened?
I filed for divorce in August, and he was very upset and took one of the pictures that I imagine he derived from a camcorder that was running our wedding night, and he distributed...
Did you know that on your wedding night he was recording it?
I thought he might be, and I did make a remark, and he said it was just something he thought I should do for him. And so I let him, and never thinking that it would go beyond the 2 of us.
And you were married how long?
Well, 3 years, almost.
And he kept that camcorder thing there?
Yeah, I never even gave it another thought. And,
what made you decide to get a divorce in the first place?
He's mentally unbalanced. He's a black belt liar. He's abusive.
Black belt liar. Okay. I never heard that one either. But, so when you got the divorce, what did he do?
He never thought I would divorce him. He thought he could always lie his way back or talk me into taking him back. And I filed for divorce in August, and in November, he distributed 600 pictures from that night, which showed his private parts in great detail, and my face, and you can all assume the rest. He sent them to every living relative I have. He sent them to over 105 members of the football team where my son goes to college. He sent them to my parents, co-workers, people I didn't know, all over the town I lived in. I had just moved to another state to get away from him. And apparently he does his best work in the middle of the night, because the police came to my door at 8 in the morning and said that they had gotten a lot of irate phone calls from residents saying, you know, what is this sex photo doing under my windshield wiper, or...
600 pictures of you?
That's how many they collected, and they did send them off for fingerprints, yeah.
Having oral sex with your husband on your wedding night. You didn't know what they were talking about, I would assume.
Not until they showed me what they collected.
Right. What did you do?
Hired 3 investigators to prove that he'd been stalking me, which he had been doing since August when I filed for divorce.
The police wouldn't believe that he'd been stalking?
No, they wouldn't believe. And the 3 investigators did very well. They caught him in the woods with binoculars, watching me. He had also been collecting my trash and storing it in his trunk and going through it. What he was looking for, I don't know. But he does a lot of unusual things. I think he's sick. I know he's sick.
Let me ask you the repercussions. Was he put in jail for 600 photographs?
They couldn't prove that he did it. They couldn't get fingerprints, so they couldn't charge him with that. But he has been charged with stalking, harassment, terroristic threats. He has been found guilty of violation of the restraining order I had. He has been found guilty of harassment. He is coming up within the next 2 weeks on more charges in Pennsylvania and also in New Jersey.
So he's not in jail, is what I'm hearing.
No, he isn't.
What about you? When somebody sends that intimate a picture to every member of your family, everyone you know, everyone in school, how have you survived that? Or what's been the worst part of it? I mean, I can't imagine anything like that happening.
The worst part was my son. I don't think he should have been brought into it. I think that's the lowest.
Yeah, how old was he?
He's 20. He's a sophomore at a university in New Jersey. And I think to do something to me is one thing, but to bring an innocent person in, he's not a child, but he's innocent, and that was totally the most perverted act he's ever done.
Do you talk about it with people? Do people mention it to you?
No, they don't mention it to me. They think it's sick, they think it's perverted, they think it's disgusting, and I've decided that, hey, it's something everybody does. I'm not embarrassed. I'm just sorry that he is such a...
Right. You haven't run away and changed your name.
I don't plan to run away or change my name.
Very interesting.
When I get a divorce.
This is a photograph of our next guest, Ralph, taken before what he says was an act of revenge by his ex-girlfriend. And this is Ralph today. Ralph, what happened to you?
On March 6th in 1992, I got prepared to go to work and looked in the mirror for the last time at the man I seen. I went out and started to crawl in my van, and there was a package in there. And in that package, there was a pipe bomb.
Pipe bomb?
Yes. I had been receiving packages from an ex-girlfriend, so I wasn't really too concerned about it. I was taking it, what I had been doing is, if I received anything, I would just take it up and throw it in a dumpster at work. But on this occasion, when I moved it, it was on the driver's side. It felt extremely heavy, heavier than normal. So curiosity got me and opened it up, and it went off. There was a flammable substance in there that burned. That would not, it was not easily put out. I tried the door to get out on the driver's side, and the doors were jammed from the explosion. So I looked to the back of the van, and it was all in flames. And from the flammable liquid, it was like the fire was raining down on me. My hands were burned. I looked down, and I seen my hands were on fire. And I laid down in the seat and tried to kick the driver's door window out. And the first kick, it didn't give. And I asked God if I was going to die. Oh, excuse me. The second time, it gave. And I was helped out.
But
by my wife, Linda.
Major burns, right?
Pardon?
Major burns.
Yes. I had, I got out of the van, and I rolled around to try to put the flames out. And my wife brought out blankets, and every time she tried to put it out, I would, as soon as the air hit me, I'd ignite again. So she couldn't keep the burns from, the flames from shooting off. And finally, they did get it put out, and ambulance arrived, and they were discussing how to pick me up because they weren't sure how to do that. And I finally said, I don't want to die here in this yard, and I stood up and laid myself down on the bed and was rushed to the hospital, and from there life flighted to a burn center in Lehigh Valley. Before I was taken to the hospital, when I was at the Divine Hospital, a local hospital, I should say, they said, Ralph, we're going to cut off your wedding band. And I knew who did this. I mean, I had no doubt in my mind from that morning, and I considered myself a dying man. In fact, to the extent that I yelled for my wife to get a hold of my brother Glenn. I said, get Glenn on the phone because I want Glenn down here. He knew some of the circumstances that was leading up to this. And he didn't make it, but on the way out in the ambulance, I said to one of the attendants, I said, am I going to die? And he would not answer me. He just looked more frightened than I did. So when I got to the hospital, they said, Ralph, we got to pull off your wedding band, or cut off your wedding band. And I said, don't do it. I said, I don't want you to do that. And they said, well, all right. And they kept pulling on it, and they couldn't get it off. And finally, the pain got to be so much, I said, cut it. And they cut it off. And then I said, this is all a bad dream, I believe. Can I go back to sleep? And they said, yeah, go ahead. And that was the next thing I remember. I woke up in Lehigh Valley after they induced a coma for 2 months.
You were in a coma for 2 months?
Yes, I was.
And you've lost your ears?
Yes, both ears were removed and half my thumbs and a finger. And I had 65% burns, third-degree burns. The most severe were on my back, where they couldn't put the fire out.
This woman, that before you were married, you were involved with her?
Yes, I was. I was involved with her before I was married, and we had a child. And she left the country. She married a man, and they went to Germany. And when she came back, she attempted to get an increase in support, which I was willing to do under one condition. I hadn't seen my daughter at that time in 12 years, and I wanted to see her again. So I asked that I have visitation rights. And one thing led to another, and the more I went down there, the less I seen of her, and I never had time alone with her. She was always present. And then I would go down as early as 7:30 to see her, and the kids would be in bed. So it led into an affair again. It led right back to where we started. Only I see my marriage crumbling, and I have a supportive family, and I looked at my life and thought I would be better off where I was, and she would be better off to move on. And she wouldn't take that for an answer. She stalked me. She followed me with my little daughter in the car down to a mall one time, and I came out and got into my car, and I could smell the perfume real strong in there, her perfume. And I knew that she was there, but I couldn't see her. I never seen her. And then she would sit across from my house, and I would look out, and I'd see her out there. And
did you call the police?
No, I did not. And the only reason why I felt like I didn't want to do that is I didn't want to bring anything on my daughter, the daughter that I had, to her. I felt that she deserved better than that.
Did you ever think she could make a firebomb like that, or she could do that?
No, I did have, when I said that I talked to my brother Glenn, it's because I had a suspicion because of some of the things that the things that were coming about. Like, she came to my place of work a month before the bombing and made me aware that she had a handgun. And I talked her out of it then. She said she was going to end it. And I assumed she meant either me or herself right there at the spot. So I talked her out of it and told her how important it was to us to go on for the daughter. And I had that settled, but it was still in the back of my mind that her thoughts were otherwise. I still wasn't clearly, I mean, I wasn't fearing for my life, but I was unsure of what her actions would be.
After the firebombing, is she in jail?
No. The circumstances that led up to the bombing, I firmly believe it was that woman. I have no doubt in my mind. In fact, I was so sure that I told one of my brothers that showed up that morning who did it before I went to the hospital, because I thought I was going to die and I wanted them to know. When I got to the police, to the hospital, I said, please give me a detective here right away. I have something I have to say. And they brought a policeman there, and I told him. I said, I know who did this. I gave him her name and told him. Unfortunately, everything that was for evidence went up in flames inside that van that morning.
So there was no way to prove who made that firebomb or where it came from?
Nothing. Not enough. The police department were just as sure, I figured, as I was because of what they would say. But they could not put her, and may I add that she remarried while I was in a coma. She was dating someone at the same time we were supposedly having an affair.
This is Ralph's wife, Linda. Linda, what's it been like for you?
It's been really difficult. You know, the worst was, like Ralph said, when he was in the hospital, he was in a coma for so long. Every day they tell me there's no guarantees. I mean, they told me to think the worst, that he wasn't going to make it, because most people that have burns as severe as Ralph's don't make it. And it was hard because then I had to go back to work. I was only allowed a few weeks leave of absence. I had to travel every weekend and stay. And we have a 13-year-old daughter ourselves, and take her down. And that was the hardest because, you know, she wasn't allowed to see him. And then we finally convinced the doctor that it was right that she do, because if he does die, you know, she had a right. And Ralph was in the hospital for 6 months, and every week we did the same thing. He was on a respirator for 5 of the 6 months, so there was no communication whatsoever. I couldn't talk to him. He couldn't talk to me.
Let me ask you something. Here's a man who, depending upon how you feel about these things, did indeed betray you. Was there any thought of not standing by him?
No. Never. We talk, that's one thing that we've always been able to talk, and he made a mistake. I was willing to accept it. The other person wasn't. We were going on with our lives. We were building addition on our house, which we had just finished, and Ralph never got to enjoy it because he was in the hospital for almost a year. Like I said, leaving Lehigh, he was transferred to our hometown, and he was there another 4 months. So it's like everything just stopped.
How's the relationship today?
Very strong, you know, very strong.
When we come back, you're going to meet a woman who says revenge is never good. As a matter of fact, she says that women who take revenge end up hurting themselves in the end. We'll find out why when we return.
I'll tell you a secret. My winning chicken's made with Lipton Recipe Secret's new golden herb with lemon. A perfect blend of herbs and lemon. So yummy. Only the ribbons left.
Lipton Recipe Secret Soup Mix, the secret worth passing around.
Why is Tux Medicated Pads the brand of hemorrhoid relief hospitals trust most? Because when hemorrhoids flare up, Tux provides soothing, cooling relief on contact. Tux, the brand hospitals trust most.
Straighten that line!
While most stores settle for just one USDA inspection,
About face!
Kroger insists on 2.
Ladies.
Kroger, serving you comes first.
This week in the Kroger Meat Department, save on USDA Choice whole beef sirloin tip, $1.99 a pound. And whole boneless pork loin, $2.99 a pound.
That was a great catch. Come on.
Hi, kid. How you doing?
I'm thirsty. What you got? Ready? We got soda, OJ, purple stuff.
Try the Sunny D.
Okay. Tastes real orangey.
Smooth.
It's got healthy junk. Oh, that's cool.
Hey, you're out.
Hey, that was a good. Huh? All right, Mom.
Sunny Delight, the good stuff kids go for.
If we do not sit down and begin to listen to what our kids are telling us, we will lose another generation.
Drugs, gangs, guns, and the violence that go with them are a very serious problem. Greater Fort Wayne Crime Stoppers encourages you to learn more about youth and violence in a special section of the Fort Wayne News Sentinel on Wednesday.
And join me for a 30-minute special on how you can help stop the madness tonight at 7:30.
The KM5P, it's an automated milling machine we use to make artificial hip joints.
There's a lot of different components to total hip. This is just one of them. Any questions you have about it?
Before I went to ITT Tech, I wouldn't know my way around this machine at all.
That's coming easier
Okay,
than it
good.
was a week ago.
Let your foot carry a little more of the weight. We're going to get you on a walker soon out on the parallel bars.
Good.
The things I learned at ITT Tech gave me the confidence to do this job.
ITT Technical Institute, an education that works. Call 1-800-942-0088.
We don't know who is for us and who is against
against us. I'm afraid for my children's sake.
What if you lived in a town where you really weren't wanted?
Especially a town like Vidor, Texas.
There's more crime when you have minorities.
Shut up. Would you give in to prejudice or stay and fight it out?
You'll see for yourself what the Klan stands for.
You bring the racism. You bring the hate crimes.
I hope that America is listening.
Next, Sally.
Don't miss it tomorrow on Sally. Revenge.
We tend to think it's funny when a woman cuts off a man's penis or put Orajel in it. No matter what a person has done, and in all the cases so far it's been cheating, you're still harming another person. Everybody thought it was amusing till Ralph came out and they saw he was seriously injured. It's not worth it. If you're mature enough to get in a relationship, you should be just mature enough to walk away from it because you're harming another person.
Yes, sir?
Yeah, like he was saying, that women are laughing when the men get hurt. But other women, like, what did she do to the woman that was in the bed with her husband right here?
What did you do? Did you do anything to her?
No, actually I didn't. But see, I was hurt. He hit me. That's my main reason for why I left. Or doing the Orajel. Not because he cheated on me, it's because he hit me. Okay? He didn't just open-handedly slap me. He doubled up his fist and hit me in my face.
Yes, my question is to the lady on the end. You had no idea that it was your best friend? I mean, you had no clue at all?
Not at all. You know, she was really special to me, and I trusted her. Really did.
Yes, sir.
I have a question for the woman in the white right there. When you put Orajel, you know, how I'm gonna say this, when you put Orajel on his penis, did you know that, you know, that was really gonna do something effective to him, or did you just have no kind of concept what it was gonna do to him? Just did it out of spite?
Oh, I knew it would numb him.
You know it wouldn't hurt him forever, right?
Oh, yeah, I knew it wouldn't hurt him forever. But if a man hits me again, I'll do it again.
Okay, first of all, before I address the women, I'd like to say to the man right here, my heart goes out to you, okay? And I just like to thank and praise God that you are alive here with us today, okay?
I do that, thank
you. And you're going to go on, and you're going to have a happy life, and she's going to get hers. And now, to the women, okay, the men, I can understand it's a sensitive issue because it's concerning their testosterone zone. But for the females, not saying that what they did was right, mind you, but let me tell you something. Men have abused and used the love of women for centuries. Not saying you should go out and harm his penis or blow up his car, but you need to stand up and recognize that it was a woman who brought you in this world. And if you got a woman who's loving you, who's doing the right thing, you cherish her, okay? And it's sad that those cretins, the man who didn't pay child support and physically abused, they slipped through the cracks of justice. It's just not right.
Sally, may I add? Sally, may I add something to that, please?
Yes, of course.
I'd just like to say that if revenge is justice, I would like to know how it was served that an innocent child, my 11-year-old daughter, was involved in that morning. Her bedroom window was blown out. There was glass all over the bed. Our house caught fire. It not only endangered my life, but they also
endangered the life of her own.
Yes, I did.
All right, my question is directed toward Ralph. After your unfortunate incident, have any thoughts of revenge crossed your mind?
Have you thought of taking revenge?
Yeah, I couldn't lie and say I didn't. I did think of revenge. But I also thought of what the revenge would bring, a never-ending circle, a cycle that would never end. One would do it, then the other would do it. It would never end.
Let's find out. We have with us Carol Friedland. She's a clinical psychologist. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, let's ask, is there ever an opportunity for revenge that should be taken? Is it ever justified? We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Brandon. Our dad asked my brothers and me to ask you to come down and see Coventry Court Townhome Apartments.
Don't forget to tell them they can have a new full-size washer and dryer.
I know, Jamie. And we take small pets, too. Okay, Chad.
With great kitchens, plus new carpet and patios.
And 2 months free rent. 2 months free? Okay, that's a good idea.
Coventry Court Townhomes on Fairfield next to Foster Park. Call 745-2849 and get 2 months free rent on selected 2-bedrooms.
Do schools that give out birth control give out the wrong message?
Absolutely. The best method is abstinence.
I think we're crazy to think that our children
are not sexually active.
If they're going to be sexually active, then they need a condom.
By making condoms available, we are in essence saying it's okay.
Who should control birth control? Next Oprah.
Thursday at 4 on 21 Alive.
It's our lowest prices of the year during the 78th anniversary celebration sale at Value City, featuring a $1.5 million buyout, a great collection of men's pro and college logo activewear, t-shirts not $20 to $24, only $6.99, shorts not $26 to $35, only $9.99, and caps not $12, only $4.99, and a $750,000 buyout of men's Britannia short sleeve sports shirts and shorts, not $22, your choice $6.99 during the 78th anniversary celebration sale at Value City department stores.
The best ideas are waiting here for you. Here at Panel Mart.
When is 6% worth more than 60%? When Panel Mart's having a sale. You might see cabinets for 60% off list price, a so-called $5,000 kitchen for $2,000. Well, that's Panel Mart's everyday price for a comparable Homecrest kitchen with solid wood doors. So when we have a sale for 6% off our everyday low prices, you get a Homecrest kitchen for less, instead of a lesser quality kitchen for more. Better prices, better service, better kitchens at the Panel Mart.
The streets of Fort Wayne have become a dangerous place. Children and adults suffer at the hands of criminals. I'm Victor Lockett. On Thursday's Live Line, meet a man whose family has been touched by the random violence. Reverend Ternay Jordan heads up a movement called Stop the Madness, and the madness was personalized when Jordan's son was the victim of a stray bullet. Find out what Jordan would like to see happen in our community and how he can be part of the solution to growing violence. Talk with Pastor Jordan. Ask your questions, plus get the complete news and weather at noon Thursday.
I promised this gentleman.
I just want to say that, you know, revenge it seems nice at the moment, but you're actually hurting yourself when you hurt someone else. You're lowering yourself to what they've done to you. And I don't think slicing, dicing, blowing things up, that doesn't make it right. Because, you know, it's a sensitive issue for men, because I understand no matter what they do, what they've done wrong, well, whatever. You know, like incidents with rape, you know, it's been going on for centuries, but revenge doesn't do anything. All it does is make family worse. I mean, it hurts other people.
Make everything worse. Is that true, Carol Friedland? Carol is a clinical psychologist who works with women like our guests today. Is it ever all right to get revenge?
Sally, what's happening here is that and we'll start with the ladies, that their feelings are absolutely justified. Your feelings are justified. You have been betrayed, you have been wronged, you have been done dirty, however you want to express it. And the immediate reaction is often fury, rage, revenge, and it's impulsive, it's reflexive, it's natural. You want to defend yourself, you want to right the wrong that's been done for you. We've come evolutionarily far away from the old an eye for an eye. We're hopefully more civilized. We have court systems which don't always work, which creates a lot of frustration as you've experienced. But what I want to really express here is that your feelings are justified, your actions are not. Your actions are not justified.
Then should we go and just take it? Should we just say, okay,
absolutely not.
You were betrayed, and what the heck, don't get any revenge?
No. No, what you need to do is, and again, hopefully with competent professional help when it gets to that level, is, well, there are at least 50 different therapies that would deal with this in different ways, but basically they're all the same. Number one, admit, yes, you have been done wrong. Evaluate the level of that wrong, that pain, that fury, but realize getting back at somebody else is going to do nothing but hurt you. Every minute you spend hating another person is a minute taken away from your life, is a minute that you're focusing on someone else and not on yourself.
I want you to work with the different people on home base, but first, Monica. Monica is a lawyer. Every woman had said the same thing. This legal system let me down, the courts let me down, there was no legal good way for me to take care of this anger. Why? What's happening?
And that often is the truth. The system, as we call it the system, lawyers and judges are not addressing the problem. But Sally, we can sit here on our duffs and complain all day long, but until we get up and we do something about it, we're going to continue to have this problem.
What do we need to do?
I think we need to use our power of vote and voice, that we determine, for example, is a judge going to use the law and use it against the correct person? Not to help a father who doesn't pay child support and does not provide medical care for his children? Or are we going to say to a judge, you are going to be held accountable, if not now, later with the vote, and that we stop complaining and that we act?
Given that the law many times lets us down, I need from you an answer to what happens when you're betrayed. And would you say what these women could have done or should have done when we return, Carol?
Attention Fort Wayne, listen to this announcement. Powerhouse Gym is celebrating its newest location with an incredible offer. They're giving away full 2-year fitness and aerobic memberships free. That's correct. Free 2-year gift memberships to the first 10 callers right now at 432-2119. Trim up, firm up, build a body. Be one of the first 10 callers. Call 432-2119 and receive a full 2-year fitness and aerobic membership to the new Powerhouse Gym. Call now, 432-2119. The new Powerhouse Gym located at Park West Center.
Barbecue, a deck, pool.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
What don't you believe? The ultimate backyard.
The ultimate backyard?
That's right. You can win the ultimate backyard at the Fort Wayne Home and Garden Show.
Every time you go to the Fort Wayne Home and Garden Show, March 2nd through the 6th, you're automatically eligible to win this fabulous ultimate backyard.
Boy, that'd be nice to win. Hey, you go twice, you get 2 opportunities to win.
Hi folks, Pat Boone here, reminding you folks in Fort Wayne to tune in to a very special Easter Seal Telethon. Because this is the 75th anniversary of Easter Seals, we're going to pull out all the stops right here in Hollywood with joyful voices, hilarious wit, happy feet, and warm hearts. All to help people with disabilities.
I'm Keith Edwards.
And I'm Jane Hersha. Be sure to join us for the Easter Seal Telethon.
Starting Sunday morning at 7, only on WPTA TV 21 Alive.
Windows, windows, windows. Save, save, save. If you've needed windows in your home but didn't want to mortgage the house, call Advanced Window Wholesalers at 456-4600. Only $159 per window. Our windows are solid vinyl, have thermal double pane glass, and even tilt-in sashes for easy in-home cleaning. Everything you need in a replacement window for only $159.
The only way to get them cheaper is to steal them.
Call Advanced Window Wholesalers at 456-4600 and save.
You said you were going to... What is the answer? I mean, if we can't get the law to help us, we can't do it the right way, what do we do?
Well, the problem with the law is that it very often takes a long time. I mean, it's a very... It's a very slow process. And the hurt and the frustration, what these ladies want is immediate satisfaction to take away this pain. We all want to get rid of our pain, but what you've got to do, ladies, is sit there and feel it. And again, the different therapies are going to do different things. You know, punching pillows, making believe it's the guy's face, or writing it down, talking about it, groups, all kinds of things to validate, yes, you have been done wrong. Anger is a symptom, Sally, that your rights have been violated. And the anger is never wrong. It's what you do with the anger that's wrong. So get yourselves into a support group, get yourselves talking about it. Take a couple of deep breaths before you go blow up somebody's life, and they end up like Ralph, which is an absolute horror.
What do you have to say to Ralph or for Ralph?
I think that Ralph is a living symbol of how things can go wrong. And I think that our hearts do go out to Ralph, and Ralph is doing his best to get his life back together. Ralph is a little worried that people are, going to shrink back when they see him. But what we all learn in life is that the outside is temporary. We're all going to age and get wrinkles and get, pretty funny looking. And Ralph's got a heart from here to Cleveland and back again.
What about the mass humiliation of Carol W.? I mean, 600 photographs of you distributed.
That pain and that humiliation is going to last for a pretty long time. And she, from what I understand, is going through the legal system. Is that Is that what you're doing?
Yes, which isn't doing any good. It's a waste of time, basically.
Yeah. The way for you to get that power is to do it on your own. I mean, they say that living well is the best revenge.
Yes.
You know, make sure that you can get your life back together. Sally, the revenge that these ladies are trying to seek is all an attempt to get power. And it's a false power. It's a hollow victory, because then they live with the guilt and the pain and the continuing remorse going forward. So what you need to do, and it sounds again kind of cliche, is to truly take that power. What can you do with your life, Carol, that's going to say, listen, this guy acted like a jerk. I don't need to focus on that for the rest of my life. Let me put this guy aside and make my life what I want it to be. You know, for me to say, well, yeah, this is what I did, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with what you did when you're in a loving relationship, or you think you're in a loving relationship with somebody, but to get your life back together and push aside what this man has done to you and not focus on him. Good for you.
My life is together.
Absolutely.
It's mainly a comment. Something Martin Luther King used to say was that an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth will all leave us blind and toothless. And I think if we don't take this attitude, everybody out here will cut off penises and, you know, poke out eyes and do anything you want to get back at somebody. You know, I'm not a very religious person, more spiritual, but I would say that, you know, vengeance belongs to...
Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. We'll take a break.
You get slow drains? Well, in clear drains, water can run fast. But after a while, drains develop this gunky buildup. Now, though, you can treat and prevent all this.
Introducing Drano Buildup Remover. See, ordinary drain openers get clogs, yet miss buildup. But new Drano Buildup Remover's natural enzymes keep attacking buildup, so drains flow free. Get new Drano Buildup Remover and go with the flow.
From S.C. Johnson Wax.
Tomorrow's medical news, antioxidants. Antioxidant vitamins in food help strengthen your body's natural defenses against cell damage. Centrum includes the complete antioxidant group. Centrum, more complete than any leading brand. And now, more important than ever.
In real life, you could never say to another person, your breath could use some freshening. But you could say, would you like a Tic Tac? Even though a Tic Tac freshens breath better than a breath savors, it's socially acceptable. It's a social coup.
Big Ten basketball season is here again. I'm Ben Smith.
And I'm Greg Johans. 21 Alive and the Journal-Gazette have teamed up to slam dunk $1,000 into your pocket with the Big Ten basketball bonanza.
Pick up Sunday's Journal-Gazette, fill out the entry blank, and mail it in. You could win $1,000, or to improve your odds, pick this week's winners, and you might win $100 and a second chance at $1,000.
And every Monday at 6 o'clock, Ben and I will be here to give you our picks of the week. The Big Ten bonanza brought to you by the Journal-Gazette and 21 Alive.
2 weeks free? What about all the other weeks? I want to own it, not just rent it for a couple of weeks.
Can you believe they have these stupid little cartoon characters telling me to come to their store? I don't think so, honey. Just treat me like I have some intelligence.
This is why we've brought back our exclusive 12-month payment plan at National Rentals, to make it as easy as possible for you to own anything in our showroom in just 12 months. The good old National Rentals is back, and whatever it takes, we're going to make you happy.
Does your husband make you feel like a sex slave and it's driving you crazy? Call us and tell us your story. Do you have a word for Cheryl and Tina?
Cheryl and Tina, I think that being abused and is a horrible betrayal of the trust that you assume at the beginning of a relationship in marriage or outside of marriage. The abuse will explain the behavior, but it doesn't condone it. Absolutely doesn't condone the behavior.
Let me ask you this. With the Bobbitt case and with the things that we've been talking about today, why are women behaving like this? What has happened?
I think that it's historical. You know, we talk about the repression and suppression of women, and we need to find our voice. We need to take power where it's real. This power in violence and in blowing up people's faces is, as I said before, it's hollow. Where we need the power, as our attorney over here said, is with the vote, with education, with financial and
strength.
And political and personal strength. That's where the real power lies. You know, blowing somebody up is absolutely
the wrong way to go.
power.
Or cutting
Sure.
something is the wrong way to go.
Yeah.
Take a break.
What a morning. And to top it off, Kevin cut Molly's hair. I need ice cream.
What are your overeating triggers?
A whole pint.
Find out with Jenny Craig's new personal weight management profile. We'll help you tackle those big problems first.
Wait, eating does not relieve stress.
So you'll see some early changes
I'll take the kids to the park instead.
in your body and behavior. The new Jenny Craig. Call now, and when you come in, we'll give you your personal weight management profile free. Dial 1-800-94-JENNY.
It's a different side of Nancy Kerrigan. Just days after losing out on a gold medal, is this Olympic skater losing her golden image? From boasting about her flawless performance to her skipping of the closing ceremonies, some say Nancy's attitude may be costly. Then, is it baby time for Gina Davis and hubby Rennie Harlan? In her new film, Angie, Gina does a pretty convincing childbirth scene. But is she ready for the real thing? Find out on the next Entertainment Tonight.
Thursday night at 5:30 on 21 Alive.
As a secretarial student at ITT Tech, your daughter will be involved in much more than just typing.
The hard disk contains the operating system and the subdirectory files for the software needed in an office environment.
That instructor certainly knew what she was talking about.
Instructor? Oh, that was one of our students.
Find out more about ITT Technical Institute. Call now for this brochure. 1-800-942-0088.
There's the way you're coming through. It's the midday thing to do. You'll find a lot to like on Pizza Hut's all-you-can-eat lunch buffet. Choose from 6 freshly baked pizza selections. Toss in a salad, then pile on the pasta and bring on the breadsticks. All for just $3.99. So if you want the whole hut and nothing but, you know what to do. Hit the hut.
If you'd like to order a video cassette of Sally's show for only $24.95, call Video Archives at 1-800-FOR-VIDEO. For a transcript, send $3 to 1535 Grant Street, Denver, Colorado, 80203, or call 303-831-9000.
I was just thinking in line with what Carol said. Power is something that's relatively new to women. And anything that's new can be abused or misused. And that's really not the way to go. It's not doing what other people have done to you, but being above that and doing something better. So interesting to talk about this today. Thank you all for being with us.
Some members of our audience will receive, and a promotional fee has been provided by
Turn up the colors in your wash with new Ultra Vivid Powder Bleach with Color Care.
They sparkle, they shine, they disinfect. Nothing outperforms them in the bathroom. Scrubbing bubbles. Only in Dow Bathroom Cleaner.
Menopause, a natural change of life. All natural Rejuvex supplies important nutrients during and after menopause. Try Rejuvex.
Milton Bradley Travel Games. They're compact versions of your kids' favorite games, like Hot Shot Basketball and Crocodile Dentist. The perfect goodies for Easter.
For free tickets to the Sally Jesse Raphael Show, write Sally Jesse Raphael, Post Office Box 1400, Radio City Station, New York, New York, 10101.